These are pictures of people helping a thief to steal. What's remarkable is that the thief was also the president of the country. Ukraine's former President Yanukovych fled to Russia in February 2014. He claimed to be in fear of his life, but despite this, he and his cronies carefully ensured they took as much as they could with them, filling trucks, cars, boats and helicopters with money and possessions. These are some of the things they took with them, and these are some of the things they had to leave behind.
President Yanukovych liked American cars. President Yanukovych liked European cars. And President Yanukovych liked Soviet cars.
Get the money.
Yanukovych is a convicted thug and thief. He was first convicted and jailed for robbery and assault as young as 17. By the time he fled Ukraine over 40 years later, he had been accused of falsifying election results, embezzlement, nepotism, and even killing protesters. He now features on Interpol's wanted list for some of these charges.
If you see the wealth of Yanukovych, this wealth was created by the corruption system.
Ukraine is not a rich country. Although it has raw materials and a strong agricultural and industrial base, the average salary is around €300 a month. Mismanagement and corruption mean that around 15 million Ukrainians live beneath the poverty line. And Yanukovych's corruption only added to the country's problems. Ukraine's new government found over $20 billion of gold reserves had been embezzled during Yanukovych's 3-year presidency. $37 billion of loans had disappeared, and around $70 billion had been moved to offshore accounts. The total cost to Ukraine of Yanukovych's corruption was estimated at $100 billion. Yanukovych's main interest had always been self-enrichment for himself, his family, and allies from his region of Donetsk. A beacon of corruption is his house on an estate outside Kiev. For a man who came from a poor background and spent most of his career in public sector jobs, the wealth on view in the house is difficult to explain.
If anybody was to want to build a theme park dedicated to corruption and frankly bad taste, this would be it. There's a helipad, there's a yacht, there's a private lake, there's a private golf course, and there's even a pure gold toilet.
As Yanukovych and his cronies ran from justice, they tried to destroy thousands of documents which detailed their theft and corruption.
It was in these waters that Yanukovych's cronies and security men threw thousands of documents as they fled to Russia with him and his cash to escape from justice. The idea was that the documents would sink to the bottom and never be seen again. However, volunteer divers went into the freezing February water and fished them out. Today, the contents of over 200 folders are being published online on Yanukovych leaks, detailing the extent of the corruption of the man and his regime.
Documents recovered showed extravagant or inflated bills, including one for light fixtures of $42 million. Ukraine's problem now it is rid of Yanukovych is to rid itself of the corrupt practices that flourished under his regime.
After the war, corruption is a major problem. We think that actually we have about 60% of economy which is produced in the black side of economy.
The Euromaidan protesters weren't just calling for better links with Europe, they were also calling for an end to the corruption that permeates many parts of Ukrainian society. And although Yanukovych is gone, it's clear that some of the corrupt techniques, mentality and people remain.
We have to change the whole system of police in Ukraine, the whole system of judges. If you go to the court, people say if you don't have resources, you cannot go to the court. That should be changed.
And many in the Ukrainian business community would welcome tackling corruption.
It will be very easy when everybody from us, from business, will not give black money anybody. It's first step which we can make immediately today. I am optimistic, and I am sure not tomorrow, but day per day we will kick out corruption from our country.
On the 21st of November 2013, ex-President Yanukovych refused to sign the EU accession deal, which would have meant a new European path for Ukraine. That refusal led to the events, some of which was taking place down here in Maidan. Since that time, the country's changed enormously. It has suffered over 4,000 deaths of civilians and soldiers, and nearly 500,000 Ukrainians are refugees in their own country. People have come back here 12 months later to make sure that that isn't forgotten, that it's not in vain, and that those sacrifices lead to a new Ukraine.
Ukraine's new government is committed to tackling the corruption that characterized the Yanukovych years, but Ukrainians are already waiting to see the necessary changes, and they won't wait forever.
How long do you think realistically Ukrainians will wait?
Up to 2 years, not more. Up to 2 years.
And then?
And then everything can be unexpected. I think that the new unstable period or even new revolution will come very soon if we do not compete with corruption.